The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Welcome back to the podcast on the GallowgateShots YouTube channel. We are here Monday night live again. I'm back this week, joined by Bestie, Decker,
You're kind of back.
Mark. I'm back in person,
yeah,
not
smell
really.
you.
Yeah, you can smell us. Is it nice or not?
It smells like death.
All right, okay.
So it smells like your garlic burps then?
Is that what that smells like?
Pretty
It
much.
smells like garlic.
My arse this morning. I just want to tell you this very quickly before we get started, right? So last night...
We've actually started.
Sorry, apologise. I have to say this, though. So last night was NFL night, as you know, Bestie, right?
I do.
Did you see the picture I put in all the pizzas and that? We've got loads.
Yeah, I saw that earlier on.
We've got one that was called a big fish special, right? And it was doner kebab meat, chicken tikka.
You had us worried there for a second when you said a big fish special.
No, Big Fish is the name of the shop.
Sorry, Big Fish is the shop.
The West Coast.
That's okay.
That's
Good
right.
deals.
Buy one, get one for every pizza, man.
Yeah.
You're laughing your head off, right?
Yeah,
So we got this pizza and it had garlic base.
Mm.
And I had a satellite dish of garlic sauce as well.
Aye.
So I was dipping that in. You know,
As in garlic base, garlic mayo, or like a garlic bread base.
No, it was a garlic meal. So it was like a base of pizza
Bloody
that had
hell.
garlic on that. Then there was more garlic. I can't even explain to you what my arse was doing today. Like it was like egg, garlic, baby's nappy, shit. It was. I've never ever in my life. I had to open all the windows driving to work. I was like, this is horrific.
I was wondering
Awful.
when Mickey was talking about kind of killing people in the street just by the stench of.
I
was wondering what caused that.
because Headley was farting and music, and I was like, whoa! It was honestly, mate, I can't even explain how bad it was. It was horrendous.
So apparently the picture isn't great. I think the internet's just sorted itself out. So just keep with her, right? We don't know what's happening, but yeah.
Keep
Jules
with for more stories like that.
Yeah.
I thought Jules
stories.
said that sounds good at least. So at least that's an improvement, isn't it? Like,
But yes, let's get into it. Let's take our horse habits and let's get back into it. I'm gonna take a little bit of a backseat on this one. I'm not gonna lie, because yes, I did watch the game. I was in Magaluf, so the screen was in front of us. It was on, but I wasn't really taking it in like at all.
It's a bit like the people that watch this podcast.
But yes, so I'll get involved as much as I possibly can. But all three of yous were at the game, yeah. Knows how I looked like you.
I spent as much of the game looking at these two to make sure they were singing as
All
I
right,
did
okay.
actually watching them.
Did you?
Oh yeah, you text us.
I put a picture on the,
you text us.
in the
You
group.
used to.
Oh, really? I was standing
Yeah.
next to that. Was my dad and next to
Was
Mark.
used to not singing.
To be completely fair,
It's his running joke.
I took a photo of them at a point where there was no singing going on. It was actually before the game.
I was going to say, if you're taking a photo of us not singing, then clearly you're not singing at the same time.
You think I can't sing and take a photo at the same time?
But yes, you three were there. How was it? Because from my opinion, after the match, it felt like a win, didn't it?
I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was particularly the second half. I think was a very, very good performance. Very, very good might be a bit
No, I think
ambitious, but I think
I'm on board, Mark. I like this.
certainly the best we've played all season, which I know isn't a high bar, but yeah, I thought it was a good game from us.
I thought we were tremendous, tremendous, and I think I was quite critical last week. I was saying on here, like, tell us what we're good at, and we struggled a bit, right? Everything was back in that game for me. Everything.
The full house, because I thought they were great. They were really, really, again, best player all season. Couldn't name a player who didn't turn up. That first 11 of subs, Jacob Murphy was excellent. The fullbacks were great. Nick Pope did what he had to do. He's kicking still, but we know that, so there's no point in going about that all the time. Dan Byrne had Haaland in his pocket. Gordon was excellent through the middle. I had Dan Byrne man of the match. Dan Byrne or Gordon for me. Bruno, his best game of the season. Tonali was a point in the second half with him, and I think it was Murphy or maybe Trippier linked up on the right. And it was just like a couple of 1-2s, and
It was lovely.
it was brilliant. Right
He was
halfway.
back me going, oh!
you could go Harvey.
I was watching you.
Hey, you could maybe say out of all of them, Harvey Barnes. I think Harvey Barnes got caught on his heels a couple of times, but that's such a when you got Kyle Walker up against you. I think it's a really harsh.
I think he struggled against Walker, and I think you just told you, okay, that's fine. Like you just
Did you know what the best thing about the game, which was so back, was the high press where you were so high up the field.
Yeah.
Likes of Trips and Hall were almost in the final third a lot of the game, just up, just hanging around there, and just that intensity back. And I know we always up our game from Man City, we always do, especially at St James's Park. But I think just to jump slightly ahead, afterwards you get the usual pundits in, they're missing Rodri, blah 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 blah. Give us some credit. We didn't even have a striker on the field, man.
No, it was Isaac Wilson. We've got a 20-year-old left back, a 38-year-old or whatever he's Trippier on the other side. We're fairly patched.
And apart from
bottoming out, Lascelles
we conceded the goal, but I thought we looked comfortable throughout.
I thought the first half surprise. I thought we weren't just defending, we were pressing from the front, and when we won the ball, I thought we were keeping hold of it quite well. We looked very dangerous down the right-hand side. Tonali was feeding in Trippier and Murphy quite a lot. We unfortunately just didn't really have that person in the middle when Murphy was trying to cross the ball, because obviously Gordon did an amazing job, but in a different way, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? He played up front, he played through the middle, but he didn't play like a number 9, if that makes sense. Mind you, though, I thought he triggered our press incredibly well. I think I mentioned this last week about Almiron in terms of, I wasn't necessarily, I did say we're missing Almiron. What I meant was he would be the person that might start that press, and Gordon was doing that, which then lifted all of the team. You know what I mean? And the crowd as well, can I add? The crowd were then right, eat them alive. And we then got behind them, and then,
the 3 games we played there since the takeover against Man City, 3-3 draw, we got beat 3-2 last season, but that game changed when De Bruyne came on, we were winning 2-1.
Yeah.
In the game at the weekend there, we've really taken a game with them. And I think back to the times we played them.
We're still a
technical moment. I think back to the times we played them under Rafa and Bruce, where we're kind of coward, and we were sitting back and just trying to catch them on a break. Where we're pressed them high, we're causing bother. That's a hard game for Man City. I know they've just played Arsenal last weekend before last as it is now. But I thought I'm on Mark's point with something and frowning. Maybe it's not needed. But I thought they got about them really well. They attacked them and they give them something to think about defensively, which is something that we hadn't been doing until the takeover in Eddie Howe, and that was really heartening. As much as the point's a good result against Man City, the performance for me was every bit as kind of satisfying as getting that point.
That's why it feels like a win, because it is only a point, you're right, but it feels we played so well. It was funny actually, because Howe said after the game that he feels that we played better in that game than the 3-3. Now the 3-3 was an absolute classic in my opinion, right? But and I agree with what he's saying. He feels that we controlled the game in parts better than the 3-3, even though we went 3-1 up. Like in that game, we went 3-1 up.
I think, do you not? Well, I certainly do. Do you not think that was maybe because more of our defensive display at the weekend? Because albeit we did trigger the press really well, break on them and all of that kind of thing, when they were in possession, we were very good defensively of getting into lines, blocking, picking up players and stuff like that. So it was probably more, he's looking at the performance as an overall and thinking, well, albeit we were brilliant in attacking in that game, and it was because it was pretty much back and forth and 3-3, whereas that one coming into the weekend, it was probably a lot more even, because we really restricted them. Like as you said before, Bestie, Byrne just absolutely pocketed Haaland for the entire game. They generally, as they're in and around the edge of the box, normally create lots of little chances. They just didn't even get that opportunity.
Do you think, I know this sounds ridiculous, but you think not having a striker helped?
I think having Gordon as the striker,
because it made them ask more questions,
helped the game plan for us, because his press, the amount of running that he did was unbelievable, and it brought out, God, I can think of at least 4, possibly 5 mistakes from Edison, where he just, you know, he's really, really comfortable on the ball. He did not look comfortable on the ball
Well, he backheeled
even when he but even when he did that back heel, he did the back heel because he was
Gordon pressed him
under
down, Lord, didn't he?
immense pressure.
Oh no,
to do so.
I absolutely agree. I was just joking. That I felt as if he did that to go. I don't care if you run that.
That was quite
mental, right?
early on. Like mad for him to do it. But there was times where he gave it away, kind of in the right hand side of the corner, which Gordon intercepted. Joe Linton, I think, was pressing on high on that one as well. Couple of times where he kicked it out into play, just was having to find a quick pass. We really unsettled them.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get into their flow of the game.
And that is the Newcastle that I remember. That is my Newcastle. Like that's the team that how bang the drum a bit, but certainly the takeover when he came and then got sort of the tactics in terms of his team playing the way he wanted. Then the Champions League qualification season, that was the team, right? Where we're an absolute nightmare to play against. We're aggressive. Well, right from the front, and I probably agree with that point that you lose the sort of the instincts of what Isak will bring from being a forward. But there's no offense, but there's no way he's going to chase like Gordon is. Like he's just not. Like
he's just forced to try.
Gordon was a man possessed at times.
Gordon is another real highlight of the weekend for me. Was his return to form and his reaction to the war flags stuff.
Yeah,
the T4 and the AJ10 and he's kissing the badge when he scored a goal and all that. Like, and I think that answered the kind of question as to whether or not he had his head turned by Liverpool, or if there's any residual kind of desire to go. Obviously, the talk that he's got his new contract kind of.
He's questioned about before the game, wasn't he?
Was he? I didn't say.
Yeah, Lindsay Hipgrave asked the question, says
for our dad.
Yeah, because she said, my dad will be really annoyed, blah, blah. And he said that just almost, he says.
Very close.
It was as much as, wasn't it? As near as,
it's done, yeah.
But to be fair, Eddie Howard pretty much said the same on Friday in his press conference as well, hadn't he? So
it's a massive, it's a huge one for that, like, because the way he was last season and the way he was on Saturday, compared to the Fulham game where he was his shoulders down, reading between the lines, Eddie Howe saying that sometimes for players you've got to give them a cuddle, and he says sometimes you've got to do the opposite. And I think he's given him a bit of a kicking verbally at some point over the last week or so to say, yeah, like this isn't what we're expecting from you. We need more. And he was brilliant on Saturday. He was really. He
said that
good.
in his presser. I don't know if it might have been the Friday's one where he said he had he let the players know, like that this isn't good enough. A few of them, and I think that's fair to say, right?
Good management. You've got to know when to do that and when to give them the arm around the shoulder treatment. Haven't you? That's the whole. That's I think
it's also. I think you've got another thing with being a manager now in terms of balancing that with the press as well, because sometimes you can go too much and then players go against you, and then all of a sudden there's this. You've got to have that balance of like you might absolutely blast someone in the changing room, but how do you tell the press and us that I've done that, but in the right way? Does that make sense? How's so good at that?
I think you've got to keep a lot of things, and a lot of things will be kept in house. I think that's it's kind of in the name of diplomacy and stuff. And I think a lot of stuff that gets said in press conferences or in interviews after games is to protect the players. I don't often read too much into Eddie Howe's notorious for like not giving anything away really. But I thought that was quite insightful to say that Gordon has had a bit of and he's responded to it. And that it reminded us, and it's going to be me that mentions him this week when Maxi had that T4 for him in the Gallowgate, that game.
I tried to FaceTime Maxi the other night.
Oh, mate.
What were you in Bangalore?
I did,
What time? Dead late?
Nah.
Well, it would have been in Turkey.
Well, not if he's in Spain. It's only an hour or two difference.
Nah, it was like tea time.
It was
tea time. He was online on WhatsApp and FaceTime. He clearly ignored us. Sorry, Gary.
I was after he tried to FaceTime me.
Did I try FaceTime you?
I was on a metro back.
Did I actually?
I'll get back to you later on, Chris. And then I didn't. I was on a metro with me, mate.
Sorry.
But I think how like his character is very much like that, like because you never see him like being out of control or angry or like. I mean, you see him angry, but not like physically displaying it and stuff like that. In like his press conference, even on the touchline, he's very kind of calm and in that moment focused on what's going on. So
Tyndall's his attack dog, isn't he? Like
but like Tyndall, he's because there's been a few interviews recently, and Tyndall said like that you don't often see it from Eddie, but when you do. You know you're getting it. So I think it's one of those where you've got to have that up your sleeve as a manager, and it probably has more of an impact because he isn't a ranter and raver. He isn't always kind of screaming on like that. So when he does do it, it is giving them a that short, sharp shock of.
Yeah, I remember the Amazon documentary, but there's one point where he swears in the dressing room before the game. It's
Yes.
like, where are you swearing?
It was a Man U one,
It's
wasn't it?
like finding out your dad
It's
swears.
mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the Man U fixture, wasn't it?
no, I'm sure it was Arsenal.
No, it was Man United.
Oh, it was after
If
the
they won a game, let's give them
yeah.
a fucking game or something
That's
like that.
what it
wasn't
was,
They
yes,
won
aye.
a quick game.
And we did.
Yeah, something like
Apology
that.
for the language at home,
And that-
folks.
But that performance, man, honestly, I was buzzing. Like I was buzzing on Sunday, and I'm still buzzing now about it.
Did
And
your
we
dad
didn't win
enjoy
the
it?
game? He loved it. Absolutely, mind you, he loved the seat. Like that's what he kept banging on about. Loved the seat.
I was like that. I thought it was
What's
that
that?
on that.
Aye, he loved it. He really enjoyed it.
Great seats on there. Great seats.
He loved it, mate.
Yeah,
Aye,
nice
aye,
to
he loved
like
it.
that.
I want to focus on a couple of other players. And you mentioned wing backs, Bestie. Lewis Hall, a lot of question marks start of the season.
Mhm.
Is he going to be the starting left back with obviously Lloyd Kelly doing okay when he's came into games?
Yeah.
I thought he was great.
Best I've seen him play for it, and I say that keeping in mind the fact that he finished last season really well. I thought Saturday was excellent. His decision making was good. His passing was good. His movement, getting up left hand side and causing bother. It was a really, really good performance. I thought by him. Yeah, I was very impressed with Hall, and I hope that he can keep that going, because that's when we've signed him. And I know Mark, when he signed him, you were dead really excited about it. When we got him on loan last season, and talked him being England's next left back, and there's a bit of a dearth there at the minute. If Luke Shaw's not fit and there's no one else to go there, then Lewis Hall, if he keeps playing like that, it'll not be too long before Carsley.
He's 20-year-old. Like
He's a boy, yeah.
like
aye.
he's going to be some player, and I know he hasn't been. He's still a little. Sometimes can be a bit raw in possession, but I love how incredibly brave he is on the ball. I'll always give people praise for that. I said that about Shea for years. About he might do a mistake, he might do this, but he's so brave on the ball. And it's a tough opposition. It's they're the best in the world, right?
Oh yeah.
And he's and he never looked out of place once. He's
excellent.
He looks
brilliant.
unbelievable, Decker, when he's transferred into that midfield role as well. So he'll pick the ball up and he'll happily just start coming into the centre of the field.
Yeah.
Like, thanks very much.
In fairness, I mean, we chatted about this at the game. I thought he was better because he didn't do that on Saturday. He just focused primarily on the defensive side of his game and being aware of his positioning, being aware of.
I haven't said that.
the
He's playing
fact
really
that-
high up the field, though.
He was.
There was one point where
he
they
was
broke him.
in there, but
He was-
he's got that confidence to be able to do. But the whole back line was doing that and going. I think what also helped us that when they were in possession and pushing up into the edge of our box, we were dropping into a 5, and Joe Linton was going in there beside him as well. And
Who
giving
also
him
had a great game as well.
Yeah,
But it just
Bit loose on the ball at times, I thought.
I think that's just Joe this season.
I said exactly you, didn't I? I was like, I think you're gonna have to live with that,
Yeah,
and
it's just him.
especially against that opposition.
That's
Because I
fair,
think
yes,
both
that's true,
teams really hounded each other. If that makes sense. We got the
Yeah.
ball, bang, there's people on them. Joe Linton got caught a couple of times. No
Yeah,
doubt
There was
about it,
one I'm thinking of was when we won the ball really high out the pitch. I forget who won it now, maybe Harvey Barnes. And played it back to Joe, and Joe had a 5-yard ball onto Bruno, and he's put it like 2 yards to his right. It's like,
Yeah.
totally killed the momentum that we had. But I mean, that feels really harsh. The one thing that happened. But I know it's before their goal, we had a spell where we were just sat quite comfy at 5 at the back, had the phone in front of them, and they were just playing. They were playing around 35, 40 yards out and couldn't get through. And then Trippier tried. Ironically, someone in front of to my left, I didn't know who was. Put a challenge in. Oh, why? You can see the shape. And then Trippier put a challenge in. They scored like 5 seconds later.
Yeah, I fell for him there. It wasn't just him either, and I appreciate.
Oh no, that's what me.
You do have to look at him first though, because he tried to dive in. Probably thought he could pinch the ball. And
Yeah.
the ball was there to be won. Like in fairness.
Oh no, I'm not blaming Trippier. I'm just saying that you could see how they kept their shape very well, and that happened to be the
But
catalyst.
that was the moment. It was a moment of quality from
It's a great turn.
from them
Yeah,
because, like as you say, we had really limited them to that point, and then Grealish was just very quick, flicked it away from, and he's away. Fantastic ball into the box, and then you don't expect your defender to be
Guardiola.
well, unless you're Fabian Schär, maybe being in
a great
positions
turn.
like that. But the way he then picks that ball, drops his shoulder, cuts back inside, that some of the best strikers in the world would look at them doing something like that and say that's brilliant
He's
forward
like
play.
on it almost. Yeah.
Because it was just a real piece of quality, and that was the difference between
And even
us
then,
and them.
even then, it came off the Tonali's heel on its way through
Well,
the
it
corner.
kind of megged him, didn't it? Went through his
Yeah.
through his legs. So again, in another moment,
Mhm.
he just he's 0.seconds.
Yeah.
Then he clips his heel and doesn't go
It
in.
just always seemed, though, throughout the game, even though we went to goal down, they were there for the taking, like, throughout.
I don't know if I would say they were there for the taking, but I think we were more than matched them.
I honestly
I think-
thought this could be ours today.
I think if we'd have won that one 2-1, I mean, the last 10 minutes was a bit back to the wall. If we'd have won that one 2-1, there would be no one saying it was a travesty. Ironically, I was not upset. but a bit kind of irritated watching Match of the Day on Saturday, and the highlights were, oh, Man City coming forward, Man City coming forward. Commentator just saying, oh, it's been inferring that it had been one-way traffic, implying it had been one-way traffic, sorry. And that that we didn't really offer much.
There was a great spell, especially after we scored. There was a good 10-15 minute spell where I honestly thought we were going to get
second half way back at them.
I thought we should have a second penalty as it goes. Like, we'll doubtless come on that at some point later on. But
we could have had one in the first half on Chef, which came from a fantastic moment from Joe Linton with a great shot and hell of a save. Absolutely unbelievable save.
That would have been the first half. Was there a Chelsea penalty there?
Yeah.
I can't remember that.
So as he makes the save, it goes and comes back in, and Cher's going towards the keeper, and he's just bundled over. It just comes to.
It is that one. It is that one. You think the Cher gets shoved on the ground?
No, the one I'm thinking of was in front of the Eases.
Oh, the Joe Linton one.
That's Joe Linton.
No, it was another one.
Oh, another one.
Well, it was Cher going forward, running towards the Milburn, and someone kind of jumps behind him, and Cher goes down, and there was a bit of a thing for it, but there wasn't much of an appeal.
Well, the one
that's what I meant. At the Gallowgate first half.
That was right.
Cher gets a shot right in front of
Edison makes that
right
save.
at the end from that save.
It's funny actually. Pope and Edison almost did the same save at the same end. It was like Joe Linton had that shot, and then I think it was Silva, maybe was it?
It was Silva from
Silva had one.
Great save by Pope, that one as well. There was like them two. And to reference what Chris is saying, like I felt we played absolutely amazing, but you do realise just how unbelievable them are, like because we ran our tail, we done everything we could, right?
Yeah.
And didn't really lay a glove on them in the sense of the goalkeeper making that many saves. That's just how good them are. Like, and we had to give it everything.
And we're looking through the team saying everyone turned up.
And we did.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
That's just how good they are.
And then they've got Phil Foden coming off the bench.
And Doku came off.
Doku came on at the end.
Was Gundogan goes off and like, right, that little bit of respite. Not that he had a particularly great game, but then the bring.
Doku and Foden came on. Did they come off at the same time? I'm sure they did.
No,
Doku
came on a bit about 10 minutes later. Yeah.
When they came on, I thought, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and that's why this Rodri debate annoys us a bit. Where I hate it when I hate using the word big club, but like. One of them clubs like lose one player, it just seems to be the narrative for the entire conversation. If anything I read or listen to, it's Rodri's out. Yeah, man,
he is pretty much one of the best players in the world. Though.
And I is, but it's not as if it's like if we lost Bruno, right? We're in trouble here because like we don't have another Bruno.
I think we lost
Isak. Well, I'm going on a striker.
They'd still be in the top two without Rodri. Would we? Without Rodri,
so when they've got Gundogan, they're bringing on Foden. They've got De Bruyne out. Like I don't know. It's just I get it. It's. Of course, it can be referenced. I'm not saying it shouldn't be discussed, but I just feel it's the only narrative I hear.
Yeah, that's the reason why they lost. Well,
obviously
they didn't lose, but that's the reason they didn't walk away with all 3 points. That's what they're trying to
refer to. So I feel anyway.
But then you're looking at our team, as obviously we mentioned, Isak not being there. You can go right through the team looking like some Botman as well. There's players out, and it happens. But like you said, Decker, our second choice players to come in to replace those are nowhere near Man City's replacements. Not even close.
They are very good, mind. I mean, when we're bringing off
that subs bench is looking a hell of a lot
in
stronger.
Certain
there's only really Alex Murphy that is on that bench the weekend that you wouldn't.
Yeah, but that's a first, and that's because it's a 9-man bench now.
That doesn't mean the other ones are good enough.
Well, you're looking at Almiron.
I think Miggy's good to have on the. Miggy's a good squad player. If we still have Miggy on the bench and had a stronger right winger, I thought Jacob Murphy was excellent on Saturday. If I had a stronger right winger, so let's say we brought in, for argument's sake, Madueke, because we're linked with him, and that's not going to happen. But hypothetically, I'd be happy with Miggy on the bench.
No,
I think that's a good. If Madueke,
it's funny, we're in the scenario that we all wanted in that sense of Miggy should be the bench player and he'll come on.
Yeah,
but we're hoping that it would. No offense to you, Jacob. I know you watch, but wouldn't be Jacob Murphy being my starting right winger.
Yeah,
that wasn't really the dream here. Like you know, what I mean?
I think when you look at the subs that we make, I mean, Longstaff's a good squad player to have.
When he kicked the ground, can I just say that?
Oh no!
When he kicked the ground. Because I get nearly ate him, to be honest. Well, I just looked me down and here we're gone. Like, it was just tremendous.
Willock for Barnes is a good change. Willock's a good, you know, I think there's, I know what you mean, and it's not that same standard that Man City have, but I think for a Premier League team, I think we're as strong as any of the bottom 14.
The bottom 14.
No,
the rest, the not the top 6.
I think it just highlights again, though, doesn't it? When they make the changes they're making, you realise how big that gap is, and that's why I think when you do draw against them, and you know what it is, you've pushed them all the way for 90 minutes.
Earned it.
That's how unbelievably proud I am of that performance.
Yeah,
because you know just how damn good they are.
We're still a way beneath them. Like, I don't know what kind of. We're closing a gap, but not in any kind of really.
It's the longevity and the long period of time.
They've got a 10-15 year head start on us,
and they've got a lot of rules that have been made
Exactly.
for them.
They pulled the ladder up after. Well, against them as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what they've been in court
Changed it,
about with the related party transactions.
It's also a consistency as well in the game, and that's
Yeah.
where I always think the squad that them produce the same performance every week, almost every week. And we're saying we've played. This is our best of our seasons. We've played. What's that? 6 games now. 7. 6 games.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've played like that. Man City play like that every week.
I think
that's
that's the
just
first time we've played well for a whole game this season.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
Jumping an hour ago when we did get the penalty, any doubts for you?
In real time, obviously, we're at the end of the ground, and I think you see him try to run the goalkeeper. You see him sort of not dive. That's the wrong word, but get foul or whatever and roll over. Immediately, you think that'll be a penalty, right?
Yeah.
For me, when I see on the replay, I still think it's a penalty. And I'm normally quite brutal on that one. I often think it's not.
I was once again, I was pissed at the time. But when they started showing the replays again, you see him jump quite a bit. But then they showed it from a different angle where his foot goes underneath the keeper, and you think, right, it's penalty all day long. So you see it from that angle, penalty all day long.
It's the one in the body.
Yeah, just under his arm, isn't it?
Which catches that. Because everybody's looking at his top foot.
Yeah,
and
flying.
him going over and thinking, oh, it's that. And then he kicks the floor.
It's because
the fouls came in the body of the keeper.
Confident that he was going to take the pen?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like this.
I'm not confident that I didn't believe in it. I was sort of scratching my head thinking, who will take this? I thought Shea might.
Same question. So that was that. I said maybe Fabian.
And then,
I thought Gordon.
When I seen Gordon,
Fabian, we were
saying,
saying, yeah.
I think what you need to credit him for as well, because you can't see that at the ground. His run was tremendous to stay on side. He did everything he could to stay on side because he knew, Christ, I've almost got to stay with you because I'm going to be off. It was really intelligent. And Bruno, I said this last week as well about Bruno, want to see him higher up the field, being able to slide a pass in, because I was complaining that Isak never gets that service, and it happens.
Because he's quick though, he's quick at it as well.
Yeah, he is. It's funny because Bruno takes forever and a day when he's on his own half. He's like Kabay. You know, Kabay used to almost come as deep as the Gallowgate to collect the ball.
Yeah.
But and he's really slow on the ball, but when he's in that environment at the top end of the pitch, he's so quick at finding that pass.
Sometimes he doesn't even raise his head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was an amazing pass, brilliant pass, great time and run, staying on side.
I've got to say, like, I think at the time I thought, well, this is close, but even looking at the replay, he's past his man. It's Kyle Walker's position that's playing them on. So you're saying a good run and holding it. I might be doing him a disservice. He might have looked across and seen the fact that Kyle Walker's over there that bit deep.
I don't think he's thinking that. I don't think he's even considering Walker. Well, I think he's in that moment thinking, shit, I need to at least try and get back on side of it. Cisse would have been away. There's 100 players, I reckon, in the Premier League that would have just seen Bruno and gone. But he's had that split second of intelligence to go. I'm not saying he's seen Walker, correct? He's not bloody Rayman. But, like, he's done his best to try and, like, stay on side. Does that make sense? But he definitely tries to bend his room or at least stay on side as best he can.
I think he's probably aware of where Walker is. Like,
maybe
without having seen the goal, or the goal, the run since. I was convinced when I had that little delay before. I thought, they're going to look at it. It's going to be offside. We're going to be 1-0. And then they give up.
The thing that gave us hope is the linesman didn't stick his flag up.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Because looking at it from our end, it looked close.
It's hard to tell from where we are, isn't it? And when they're going that way, like.
Funny how quick it happened as well. In the moment, it was a bit almost to nothing. Felt like Bruno passed you in. It was like all just come from nothing.
A little bit like when Murphy put the ball through for Isak for that goal where it was a Bruno. Joe didn't play the ball. It came from nothing. It was a bit scrambling over. It was really similar to that. I thought.
We had a load of opportunities like that where we were just really, really quick on the ball. The amount of time, like you said, like Murphy, the game plan seemed to be, particularly in the first half, was get it out right, get Murphy into space, and then he just hit that ball into the box every time.
Yeah,
he put 3 or 4 balls in,
really
but we just didn't have anybody on
one
the end
point
of
in the first half with the ball, and I thought, "Oh, well, there, Murphy keep that in." It was Trippier. Bloody hell!
Trippier, yeah. He was very high,
bit.
wasn't he? Yeah. I thought Shea as well. Did you notice that was definitely part of the game plan? Was Shea was getting the ball forward really quick, whereas
very quick.
Sometimes it's a good idea because if you're going to just go along the butts, I'm all for, by the way, keeping possession. That's just inviting City to press the hell out of you. Yeah. I felt as soon as Shea got it, you want to get over the top towards Murphy predominantly over that side,
and that's what
almost turned them around.
City did with us.
With us to a degree.
Like, they were happy to try and keep possession and knock it around, and it just invited us on, and bang hit.
I thought the tactics was spot on. Like
it was really good. I thought it was how kind of there's been a little bit of criticism over the start of the season because I haven't been playing very well. We asked the question last week about is it because Bunce is in there and is he trying to kind of rein him in a little bit? It was excellent. Saturday was, you say, Decker, if you could have put that performance in amongst any of the better 2022-23 season, and it would have stood up.
Do you think the delay helped, as in that we had the game postponed for the cup game against Wimbledon? Right, that's helped.
I think
One
it
player,
went off.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had the extra hours, well, being in Spain, didn't you?
Did I?
Even more time.
I think I'm still there, man.
A full week of being able to just get on that training pitch, drill them.
Hello.
Oh, matron.
Oh, my God,
Just
now.
get them right into. It's getting worse, isn't it? Focus on that game.
Well, Howe said that in his press afterwards. Said like that game being cancelled. We reviewed the Fulham game. He says we've never reviewed a game as much as that Fulham game in a long time. So that's how much he must have wanted
He's
to
got
call
a
that.
tower on them.
So it's fantastic to hear. You know what I mean? And they've obviously been doing a lot in the training. It does give you time to prepare for that game, which of course works. And I was just amazing. I'd also wanted to reference Tonali. Like I thought Tonali was absolutely outstanding. You know, and I thought I've been on about this sort of bite in midfield, and I don't know, I've been a bit passive. And I felt like, I don't know, maybe it might be different watching the telly, I don't know, right? But because he didn't do particularly much on it. I mean, he did get the ball and sprayed out wide a few times. He overhit a pass out wide, to be fair.
Yeah, he did.
But off the ball, he was just being that nuisance, a bit like what people say Longstaff's like off the ball, where he's blocking passing lanes and just being a nuisance. He was getting stuck in, covered every blade of grass. Honestly, I thought his performance was tremendous. Like,
Him and Grealish was interesting.
Got
it was scuffling in the corner, wasn't it?
Aye. Push and shove.
I love how like that though.
I do as well. I don't mind.
We need that.
Yeah.
That's what
I think we
need,
do.
man.
I was, yeah.
It's funny, like, because
what's up, like-
Grealish was getting a fair bit of stick through the game. Like,
Aye.
I quite like him.
I like
now.
Grealish.
I do like him a lot. There was the dive on half when you Trippier give a free kick away and Trippier saying I'm not touched him. And even Grealish was saying it's a throw-in referee. Like, but he went out expecting it. But no, I don't mind Grealish. If he's playing for you, like you're over the moon.
Have I got this wrong, or was there a bad challenge on Tonali at one point?
There was Grealish's elbow on the edge of the box.
There was a
no,
bit
there was
of
one
a there was a
from
on
behind.
his ankle. Yeah,
Which
I can't remember that.
I can't remember who it
was
was.
up against the east stand.
It was a yellow card, and I thought it might have went back and looked at it. I think VR might have looked at it because it was a bit naughty, like.
I can't quite remember it.
He wasn't like off the ground or anything like that. So he does go in with the studs, but his foot's kind of sliding along the pitch. So although technically it studs up,
it's not an assault like Bruno
he's not
Fernandes.
like going, in on him like that. He's kind of slid in.
So what's the other penalty shout then?
Joe Linton.
Joe Linton.
Walk on Joe Linton. I've seen it.
Lisa's end.
Come on, Chris.
That's-
These to talk about, and I'll show you.
It's a penalty all day for me. Like.
It is, yeah. And again, I'd have to say, and I'm right. It's right there on the ground.
Mm.
Even I thought it was, and I was about 2.1 miles away.
It's definitely a penalty.
I do remember something else happening. But
Airplane mode on, so I can't. But water comes back and kind of steps across him. About 6 to 8 yards out.
It's 1-1
And
at the
ball
time.
goes away. It's 1-1. It's just after the equaliser. Just after the equaliser.
Yeah, drops of them.
Then Joe Linton goes down. It's certainly a penalty.
That is 100% being given as a foul anywhere else in the field. I mean,
but even on match
not
of the
even
day,
a hesitation.
they showed it on match of the day, and then went, "Oh, that's happened." But by the way, Tonali and Grealish have been pushing each other for a bit, so it was like brushed. And I'm not one of these blokes who thinks that is an agenda out like that, but it's just frustrating.
If that had been on Haaland,
Mine
they
haven't
would
said
have
that.
talked about that for the
your
entire
pal
show.
Steve isn't happy.
Steve Passmore, what's he saying?
He said, my pee was boiled at the commentator on Match of the Day. He said there's nothing in that after Grealish threw the elbow into Tonali's ribs and stamped on his ankle.
It was a funny one that was because Tonali went down on the edge of the box. He stayed down for a while, and Grealish does elbow him in the sternum. So, but I mean, but the worst thing, there's nothing in that, and they kind of brushed over it again. And I thought, well, you can see that there's something in that. Like, I don't, whether it's a red card or not.
I didn't think it was.
I'm a little bit. I need to say it again.
I think Tonali made the most of it. In fairness,
he did. But him and Grealish had a good run in battle. But it was.
They did, yeah.
I Grealish played well, but it's nice, like you said. Deco haven't had that bite with being a bit soft, maybe.
There was loads of it, man. Burn was at. You see Haaland's angles.
I was just going to mention that.
Did you see his angles?
His socks with the holes in. Like,
wow.
But that
That came from nothing. Though,
that looks weird. That looks far worse in the photo than it actually.
No,
was.
TNT started.
What? There's a photo lying like.
When you've got
so
holes in their
TNT
socks
highlight, because I remember this bit. TNT highlighted that. Then, because they kept on just zooming in on his ankle as if it was a really bad decision, challenge that went on him.
Yeah.
But they went back and showed the challenge. There was nothing in it.
There was nothing in it.
Like nothing.
So how it actually happened was
on both.
They basically.
Unless he's got the holes into his ankles and he's soft.
This was at half time.
No,
I can't remember which one it was. It was at half time.
What kind of happens is almost that Dan Burn kind of falls over, and the way that he's stood scraped down the back of
one
the
or
sock.
both. Of one or both.
It's his left one, I
It's
think.
his left one, I think.
So there was both at the end of the game that were done. from what the two pictures I've seen.
No, I don't. Well,
Which is fine, by the way. That's what I want to happen.
The
Kick him out of
picture
Holland.
that's doing the rounds of look at the state of his ankle, and they've got still
Wonderful.
of Dan Burn with his studs on the back of Holland's
It's like a
on
stumble,
his
isn't it?
Achilles. But he's literally he's fell over and his legs gone down the back of his sock.
One of those things where you remove all context, it can look terrible.
Yeah.
but
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah.
when you actually see the video clip, there's nothing in it at
But
all.
what I mean though is really is like we seen it where off the ball, man. They were at each
Oh,
other all game. It was
yeah,
brilliant,
yeah.
man. It was brilliant.
That's what you want to see, though.
It's
Isn't
exactly what you
100%.
want.
Holland
It
doesn't seem like playing us. I think he's only scored once against Wayne. That was in his first game,
The first.
the 3-3.
See, for him, like he will bully. I seen it your first time. He will be. Neil Knight scores so many goals because he's
He's
such
brilliant.
a bully.
If you look at him last week,
aggressive, you know.
He was what Shearer was.
Look at him last week against Arsenal. The way that he was going on there, he couldn't get away with it. On Saturday, he was even trying to. I'm not going to say what I was going to say there. Move between the two defenders.
What were you going to say?
Don't let him say because it'll be sexual.
Oh, but yeah. So you mean he's trying to go towards Shea, get marked by him for a bit because
Because he was moving between the two,
Which he does.
rather than because he was getting nothing out of Dan Burn. So he went, I'll go and move myself across towards Shea. And go
Maybe he
and
just
try to
hates.
work.
He might just hate Newcastle centre backs because Lascelles had him in his pocket once.
Botman has done it as well. To City Manchester before, like with
Just hates it.
How does it called now? Yeah.
We'll just say that quietly because there's another game to go. And
we'll
he
play.
can score 5-1 day.
He's going to play against one another 20 times or something in his career, like, so there's a long way to go.
So
yeah,
apparently
but-
the photo that was doing the round was just the same photo twice.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I take that back.
Just flip
Sorry,
it.
I take that back. Sorry, I take
Apparently.
that back. Sorry, I take that back. That's my
Yeah,
bad.
but I thought,
That's my
like, for me, Dan Burn was absolutely sensational.
Unbelievable.
As I say, I think he might be man of the match for me. It was brilliant.
Do you see that pressing he did? Where I think it was on. I can't remember. Was it walk out someone? Right up. He was literally up
Yes,
front,
he
man.
did, aye.
And
Yeah,
he came
aye.
and got
Front of
turned as
Gallowgate.
if it was like it was like a bus turning. And then he went.
Is
Actually,
that
no,
when he put his
I'm
arm across and then went, nope.
yes.
Yeah,
and then he
he
chased
kinda
after him.
backed out.
Then he chased after him. Then Edison kicked it. Gordon then chased after that and won the ball
Yeah.
back. And again, that just helps.
That was the one that I was mentioning before. I was thinking it was Joe Linton, but it was actually Dan
Burn,
Burn.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
He almost
You're
thought,
right.
fuck, I'm just going to keep going.
No,
So as this goes for performance-wise, we all know that it's by far the best performance that we saw so far this season. Is it allowed to drop?
is it allowed?
What
to drop
when you say best, everyone said that's best performance of the season. That I can't remember a better performance in my head, and I mean that as well. You know, in terms of like even going back to last season.
ever?
I mean,
No.
That's a bold
no.
statement,
You're missing the point. I can't remember the last time we played that well. Tell us then. I can't
All right, okay.
remember. Like
No,
everyone,
right,
everyone
okay.
says this
So,
season,
yeah, okay.
but I can't remember the last time we played better than
I see
that.
a lot of last season as
We
well. Yeah,
definitely
good
have
shout.
played better than that. Right?
See, Villa first game
We're the
last
best
season,
team in the
amazing.
world, so we obviously have played better. But I'm just saying I can't remember. That's how good I thought that performance was, right?
Yeah.
And in the point I was going to make earlier on was what you kind of said there is Howe's message must have been at full time, lads. That's the bar. Like, is you've set your own bar now, and if you play like that against, no disrespect, I know Mark doesn't think I do this, but when you play the likes of Fulham's or Southampton's or you will really get a team if you play with that intensity.
Everton's around the corner.
Honestly, you can get a
That's
team
Liverpool.
if you really go like that. But if we set back and can't like Fulham away, that can never happen. Well, it's never happen again. It will. It's football, but that has to be the bar. You've set that bar. This is what you can do every week. You need that.
I think it helps that it was Manchester City. I mean, a lot of teams will. So Everton at the weekend are going to sit deeper. They're not going to, they haven't got the personnel to kind of go at you the way Man City have done the weekend. So the spaces in behind might not be there. So when you talk about Shea playing the ball over the top, Everton, they'll set up. Mind who's their centre half? We had one centre half who was really quick. He matched Gordon early on. I thought, oh, hang on.
God, aye, yeah. Forgot his name now, yeah.
He's really
Pace, aye.
Kanji.
It could be, aye. Because there was a ball, and I thought Gordon might have this, but
He was brilliant. He
Yeah,
did
he was
really,
fast.
really well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I was really impressed with
I
that.
think in terms of the bar, what I was meaning is like if we're playing them and they're passing it around.
Get at him.
Get at
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like because when we played Fulham,
The high press was back, yeah.
I felt as if we just allowed them just to settle in the game. And
Assuming that assuming Isaac's not going to be back with a broken toe, I don't expect he'll be back for a couple of weeks
Run it
now.
off, can't you?
Apparently so.
aye.
I guess that Gordon's going to be up front again. He's going to be champing at the bit to score a goal there. Like,
Yeah, probably in that game. Yeah, because I think tomorrow night will be wholesale changes to a degree. to a degree.
Yeah. I think tomorrow night you'll probably see.
He's already said Miggy's playing.
Good.
Sula, do you reckon coming in?
I'd like to see him, but I'm not
Will
sure.
Sula?
I'd like to see him on there.
It may be the game to do it.
I think he'd play him.
Yeah.
I thought he might have seen a few minutes on Saturday towards the end of the game just to see it out. But
Oh,
didn't
God,
need it,
especially when Agnelli died.
God, we did, didn't we? Aye.
Gordon, when he pulled up sharply towards the
yeah,
end and just hit the ground, I was like, oh, God, because it literally looked like his hamstring had gone.
Was at
ping.
one point where I'd use all the subs, and as we use all the subs, those two players went down with cramp, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what the fuck?
Right, Tonali and
Trippier.
Well, I think
Oh,
it was Tonali, Trippier went down at the same time. Lewis Hall went down again.
Yeah.
But Gordon, that literally
But Gordon was in front of the leaders.
it
wasn't
looked
he?
like
Oh,
he'd
nah.
snapped there.
Isn't it unbelievable how, again, that's what I mean by the levels of the performance and the opposition you're playing, how good they are. You got players falling down with cramp left, right, and centre, man, and they're incredibly fit people. These guys, you know what I mean? And they're all falling down. I mean, and some people might say it's gamesmanship and they haven't really got cramp, but I believe. Well, Tonali and Trippier did, and Gordon, I thought
Trippier had to go off.
exactly. I thought he had been shot. Gordon, honestly, I thought his hamstrings popped. Yeah,
Because he went down, he
fell
wasn't
off.
touched. And I was like, oh, no.
I hope he never does that again because my life flashed before my eyes.
When he got up and started running, I was like, oh, mint, it's just cramp. Because when he pulled up, I went, that's it. He's
The whole ground
hamstrings
just took
in the
a
leasers.
collective.
What was it? What was that
intake of
atmosphere like?
breath.
Bit flat.
Was it?
Is
Is
that
that 'cause of the time of the day?
I always worry about them early lunchtime
Yeah.
kickoffs. Like,
We've said this loads of times.
Yeah.
The 12:30s are the hit and miss sometimes. Like,
Yeah, can be high. It's always because in the corner, I don't know if it's the same with you,
corner.
I can't hear the away fans at all. during
now
the
we
game.
can't.
They,
Very rarely.
to be
yeah.
fair, the Man City fans were
It's only when I
We're
watch
vocal.
when I hear it back on YouTube or Match of the Day or whatever. It's like, oh, actually, you can hear them singing.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't hear it at all.
I
during
thought
the-
there was some mint moments where we were standing like where it really got rowdy. Like, oh, it was great. At times it was, at times.
it's-
But then I put that on Twitter and everyone was having a right go at it, saying it was
Yeah,
absolutely shite and shite and
I
shite.
was talking
Like,
to during the break and play. I was on WhatsApp and Jess comes in. She says, you can only in a group. I'm in with Jess and she was saying that the crowd you can only really hear when the crowd only really get going these days when they feel like they've been wronged by the referee or that someone's gone against it that we think, oh, it's an injustice. And I think that's probably all right. That's when we tend to be our loudest.
No, I think that's when we're loudest. I don't think that's
Yeah.
when we get involved. I think that's
Oh,
when
no,
we're
that's-
loudest.
I
yeah.
think when we see your team pressing is when we get when Gordon's chasing from the front, man, the people are going wild, man.
Like,
the
definitely
stadium
lifts, like, it
doesn't
does lift.
help with the acoustics or the noise because we can make as much noise as we possibly can in that corner. And if you're sat in the Leazers end in there,
Can't hear it,
you can't hear it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Because it's so open there. You've got the away fans
No, you
above
can,
you.
man. I've done it when I was at the 6-0 against Tottenham. I was in a box in the Leazers, and you could hear the corner really, really well.
I would say
because I was quite sad I wasn't in there.
if you could bottle that
But yet
corner,
the Spurs fans weren't going to be doing much singing 6-0 down with it.
I know that I remember. Like, in fairness, no, that's a good point.
What are you going to say? If you could bottle it and move it
if you
everywhere
could
else?
just bottle that up, because there was moments I say where it was great, like the Tonali songs were amazing, like it was really bouncing, but that never ever seems to feed very far out. And like I was speaking to some lads at work, and they were saying it was Man City fans everywhere taking pictures and that. They were taking selfies when Holland was behind them. I mean, he's miles away, but when he's kind of there,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how are you getting a ticket? Like, so you know,
But you and Arsenal come to town.
it's not good. I'm not big on a ticket problem.
Shall we go through some questions?
Let's do it, Chris.
Send some questions in,
Let's do
everybody. There is not necessarily a question, but Jules mentions obviously the news that we got on Saturday about Darren Eales stepping down as well. Joyce got he's diagnosed with cancer. Very sudden. Obviously, we've had discussions about the hierarchy of the football club, blah, 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 blah. This has been going on behind the scenes as well. So, yeah, best wishes to him and his family as well, because it was horrible news, that, like, really was.
Yeah, awful. Like you never, want to hear news like that about anybody. Not good
Tough.
at all.
Tough.
Bless him staying on and all to keep going. The interview was
transitional
so awful.
period
Like,
there,
was just
like,
saying, like, at the minute I'm fine, but when I
Yeah.
start getting treatment, I'll be bad. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
bad.
I bad good luck with him. Like it's a horrible business. That.
I did find it peculiar though that obviously he did the video and stuff like that, but he didn't seem to really address the fact that that he was having the health issues, other than that he was stepping away because
But he doesn't
of
have
it,
to.
which I
It's
thought was a bit.
it's his
That's a
personal
personal
life.
thing,
It doesn't have to. Like, this is a reason I'm
Yeah,
going.
I don't know. It just felt a
Like,
bit cold to me from the interviewing side of things.
To be honest,
You said
I
that,
thought,
and you said it was.
yeah, I agree with Mark there. Listen, I don't know what I want the guy to say, right? But it
Yeah,
just
it's
felt
tough.
like, it just felt to me, he said, so you're stepping down. He gives one answer and he went, right, so about the future of the club? It felt very, very,
The emphasis
no
was on
empathy at all.
on the club rather
Yeah.
than his situation.
It just didn't sit right with me. It didn't when I listened to it.
And I
Yeah,
get
I
like
get
that's
what
what
you mean,
ultimately you want to know what the impact for the club's going to be and what they're going to be doing about that. But you've got to have a bit of that human element to it, of the impact that this life-changing situation that he's going through, the impact of it. And yes, I get that he spoke a little bit about it, and it was nice to hear that he wants to stay in the area and bring his kids up here and stuff like that. But I just felt it needed a bit more of a a human touch to it.
I would agree.
Focus a bit more on him.
Hopefully, he can kind of he'd be well enough to see. I know he's not going to be at the club for that much longer, but you'll be able to kind of be a guest of the club and all that. And if the club continues to progress, then you'll be a part of it. Hopefully,
Everything goes
good
well.
luck. Looks I dare say not a nice thing to have to deal with.
It's funny when I went to Atlanta on holiday, I went to their stadium tour, and he was all over it. Like pictures of him and that, because it's the house.
Yeah, he's really he built it, wasn't he? Yeah,
absolutely love him over there.
Really
like,
love him over there. Yeah.
To be fair, there's been a comment maybe people saying that maybe after diagnosis he just shut himself or he doesn't feel as if he needs to open up. Maybe I don't know.
I don't you can expect
throwing a camera up in front of your face.
Give away what
I don't think it's on him.
away,
Like nobody's seen it.
Oh God,
him,
no! I'm
Mark
not
was
saying.
quite the man in there. I thought, mate.
I'm not. No, I'm not
Very
saying anything on
unkind,
him. I have to say that again. I am not saying on him. I thought the interviewer, the person interviewing him, I didn't feel. I don't know. I just felt he could have went a little bit. I don't know, better about it, or asked. I don't know. I just felt to me it was like, "Is he not very well? Are you not okay?"
Made it a bit more personal rather than.
That's how I felt. Not on Darren at all. Bless him. He had the bravery and the balls to immediately denounce that news and then get in front of a camera. I appreciate that we've been recorded, but you get the sentiment.
Of course.
So don't take that the wrong way. Let's talk about the kit there. Well, not the kit, but the new range, which you're representing.
Yeah, I honestly,
the lads look lush on Saturday coming in the ground wearing it, didn't they?
Almighty! I've got a picture of Longstaff on me wall.
I love
honestly,
Tyndall.
did you see how good he looked?
That was brilliant. That was a Mad Dog full kit.
I mean, you talk about using the players as ad boards. Like, my God, what a way to do it! Like, because the looks unbelievable. Like, honest to God. I mean, I went in on Friday, like immediately to have a look. And of course, I just wish the new shop was ready. It's still not ready yet. And I was trying to PR in the thing. I'm a right stalk Alec in there. And I was like in the window trying to look what it was looking like.
Thing is, though, it doesn't look anywhere near.
Mate, it looks nowhere near done. Like
it looks like it's going to be months before that place opens.
I'd be stunned if it was.
When's it supposed to be? It's October, isn't it? Mid-October.
And it's October tomorrow.
It literally looks a shell that was now there. But anyway, there's
a lot of like reconstruction inside of it though, in regards to like walls being
it looks like they've just completely gutted the inside.
Because the rumor was that they were pushing back into the stadium, weren't they?
Back over. Because
how much can you see above those? I don't know your offices.
So where you can go up to the gates because it's got like the mesh gates and you can see in.
I went
inside like because it's still the glass windows where
the gates are great. I was like
the mannequins and stuff like that, so you can see into it, and it's just literally it's an empty.
Is it not like Grand Theft Auto where they just put like a thing over the window so it looks like it's empty, but it's actually just...
Hey, maybe it is. Maybe they're really confused.
That's graphed away like mad at the...
Well, as I say, I went in and obviously seen all the gear, and I was just like, I mean, you know exactly what it looks like, right? Like, because you've seen it 100 times on the adverts and stuff. I was just, I mean, it was just rammed straight away, the shop, like immediately. Then I went on Saturday for the game. It was rammed again.
You could tell it was rammed because everybody on Saturday was wearing it.
I didn't see that many. The lad next to me had the black and white, the original shirt, the stripy one. I saw a couple of lads with a t-shirt on and the jacket. I didn't see a great many around me.
And then, as I say, the players. I mean, Longstaff looked unreal, man. I couldn't stop looking at the photo.
He does. He's lovely.
He had the full tracksuit on. He had the t-shirt on. I just thought, he looked unbelievable. Like, so that was straight on the wall. But no, really, really good, fantastic. The club must be making absolutely millions out of it, and it's great to see.
You have to touch on that though. The price and scandalous.
It's
equivalent to the cost of stuff.
It's a lot of
how much stuff costs these days.
I have to say that the quality of the hoodie.
You're loving that, aren't you? Like
the quality is
about
immense, mate. Like immense. I have to say that. And even my eyes watered a bit like when I seen. I mean, the tracker bottoms are what, 65 or something, man?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Yeah. I think
£160 if you bought the full shell suit.
That's incredible. That's ridiculous. That should be £100 all in for me.
You used to be 40, didn't it, for a full shell suit? I mean, it's going 30 years.
What I would say is, I'm not saying they're taking the piss. That's the wrong word, but there's a hell of a lot out there to buy, like, because like they released all the blackout things. So you've got all that came out originally, of course it did, right? Then the blackout gear came out, which they've got
in 3 different colours. Don't forget
the DNA stuff.
Yeah, and then this stuff, and listen, you don't have to buy those. So why am I complaining?
Do you think there's still more to come as well?
Probably, like,
probably
is. Like, there's 4 shirts this year, right? Technically, right?
Well, if you include that,
do you know what I mean? Like
the one that
I just think, like, come on, like, don't milk, don't take the piss, but like, we'll love it. It's great.
Milk me as much as you want.
All I'm saying is just how steady on. Yeah.
No, I'm loving it.
It's amazing.
I've still bought 2 of them, but still.
Which 2 did you go for?
The hoodie and the jacket.
There's nice jacket. Like
I tried the jacket on the night. I have to say it was amazing. Like, that was very, very nice.
What's the price of the jacket? Same as that, 85.
Yeah.
Everything's
jacket, the hoodie, The long sleeve shirt, they're all 85
Because the
quid.
t-shirt's 42
The t-shirt's
or something like that.
40.
40 quid.
Yeah.
Considerable
No, the
discount
60
for
oh.
Mags members and season ticket holders.
Which is nice as well. That's the t-shirt.
I think the pants might be 75 quid, you know.
Are they 75?
Might be.
I
If
thought-
they were 85.
Actually, I
37
think
the
you're
other
right.
half.
Yeah.
£37.50 per leg.
75 for the pants. 85 for the
It's
top.
insane.
Do you know what it is? Let's be honest. Like, and I bet you mentioned this, but I'm sure it's you that mentioned it before we started recording. I think we're probably a bit too old to wear a full shell suit anyway.
Yeah. look at
Imagine
that.
we rocked up wearing
To
a
be
shell
fair, I
suit.
did actually see people wearing, and they were younger, but like literally
Well, most
I saw
people are younger than you.
full shell suit,
Well, yeah.
the t-shirt on underneath, the cap, a bucket hat. Like there was a few people.
Cap
like,
and a bucket hat.
like no, I'm saying these were
That's
different.
my
people.
trick, that man.
They were wearing those outfits with different hats that were doing it, but it's
I think, but you could wear the trackers with a t-shirt and it would look cool as out. To be fair,
like
Yeah,
if you
but
wore the
I'm
tracksuit
hitting 40 in a
pants
couple of
and
weeks,
just the
like-
green t-shirt, that would
Yeah.
look like a nice outfit.
Mm. I can't wear trackies like I kind of do it. I love that. I kind of wear trackies like.
I used to, not now.
In the house, doing the gardening, walk the dog.
I'm not-
Doing the garden, you 80 big tracksuit.
Well, that's what I mean. I wouldn't.
this guy doesn't even wear a t-shirt when he does soup. he's gonna wear.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Doesn't want to ruin a £3
I
Primark
certainly
t-shirt.
wouldn't be wearing a white t-shirt.
Mr.
and
Strolly all over the
tomato
shop.
soup. I did have minestrone.
I'll do me
today, but I
gone
had
in
a
a
blue t-shirt. on, so it
£100
was
pair
fine.
of pants, man. I'm taking me t-shirt off to have
I
soup.
just can't do this for a bed pet.
No, but even like it. See, when I say that, but then a normal pair of Adidas tracksuit bottoms are like 30, 40 quid.
Right.
So it.
But that's the same as anything. Like the markup, like as soon as you put the
That's what
logo on there.
you're putting a badge on it, and you're paying double the price.
So when you do the garden, I kind of want to know now. What would you wear when you were in garden? Would you wear your 40 quid tracky
Normally the
bottoms?
shorts.
He's got-
Shorts or tracky bottoms.
Putting the
yeah.
soil in a Fabergé egg and stuff.
Bollock naked in his back garden.
The
Bollock.
naked gardener.
There's
You get grass stains everywhere.
Those really tight leggings that he had on. That's still,
You remember them, man?
He still, to this day, he still says that those joggers weren't tight.
Weren't
The
tight.
word,
The
mate,
word,
the word.
You've
Wow,
never had
man.
them on since for a
If
reason.
anybody
I
like,
think I've got a photo on me for one of your pants.
they were just
Tight.
like,
Drain pipes.
you don't complain when they're wearing them in training and stuff like that.
You're a 50-year-old man.
I am not a
You're
50-year-old
not a
man.
professional athlete.
It's not my fault I've got coughs like Jack Grealish.
They were really tight.
They were really
It was
Really
absurd.
tight.
There's tapered trousers.
They
really
weren't
tight.
tapered jogging bottoms.
No, they were
You
really
got
tight.
tapered. There's tapered. Tapered's fine, but that was a bit beyond.
Your calves were screaming.
They weren't.
We could
They
hear
weren't
you,
even. They
we could
weren't
hear you
even
squeaking up the
tight.
corridor, man.
They weren't even like
You're like Gateshead Russell Brand.
fitted to me. Leg. Just with less hair.
Without some of the more
Alligators.
unsavory stuff.
And,
Yeah.
and none of the touching.
I love how quickly you turn to me there. I'm not going to say litigious. I'm not going to say he's a racist out like that.
The
Right.
sex pest.
Anything that you want to add to
Allegedly.
this one? Because we've got another 10 minutes left. So anything that you want to touch on?
I think lineup for them, right? Can we just have
Okay.
a little-
Yeah, fair
Just
enough.
'cause
That
you
is
told
that.
So we did do a match preview,
Oh,
which went out
sorry.
2 weeks ago, but it's
Oh, yeah.
fine. We can do it again now.
Yeah.
Lineup. I think there'll be mass changes. You know,
John Ruddy and goal, do you reckon?
I reckon half the team changes.
About
Dubravka.
5 or 6, yeah.
Dubravka come in.
I'll guess Dubravka, like, yeah.
Tino left right back.
Yeah, because I think Kraft will play centre half. So I think probably
Kraft.
so, yeah. Tino, Kraft.
Kelly
Kelly.
and Howe, would he
At
go?
left
Go
back,
Kelly
do you think,
Danburn,
or-
maybe? Or?
Well, Toggett will not be playing since he's got eczema.
He's got
Apparently.
eczema, yeah,
That's
aye.
well, I'm saying that's the maddest injury ever, but we've had some pretty mad ones,
Dr.
haven't we?
Walker's back.
But hell.
Just scratch it off, man.
Just wash
What's
it
the
off.
problem? The scratching. That's why he's out.
Just get in the bath.
Do you reckon it's just the case that he cannot move for being dead itchy? So, oh, fuck's it again.
It might be that
I was
bad.
like, Rodri
No,
runs
it'll
past
be-
it.
it
Oh,
must be
honestly,
like-
some X-Men
you'll
gets
be
really
getting
bad.
sores
I've
and
never had it
stuff
before.
like that,
I'll be very
yeah.
fortunate.
Speaking of Adidas, yeah, he just doesn't.
He's
Body just
reacted
hasn't
to it.
reacted.
It's bad. X-Men be really
Yeah,
bad.
it's really bad.
I've never had it before.
The Ben used to have it like
You
really
do-
bad.
do where like your skin splits and stuff like that, and you get weeping wounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, it can be, yeah.
So I think
Sorry for any eczema sufferers out. I didn't mean to make light of your condition.
the main talking point though, I think it's up top. Do you have to rest Gordon at this point?
I probably would. I'd go Bonds, Miggy.
Miggy's
and-
100% playing.
what do you call
He
him?
said it. He said
I keep forgetting his name.
Azula.
Asula, I'd play Asula up front.
I think Asula
I'd
will
play Barnes and I'd play Miggy. That would be me 3.
I think with Isak being injured, you're probably less likely to start going in the centre.
This £15 million kid can play against Wimbledon. Like,
Longstaff and Willock
You would hope
come into
so,
the middle of the
I
park.
think so.
Because you could play Willock on the left, It's weird though, it resists the temptation. You don't want to change the whole 11.
No.
So we've just kind of replaced everyone that's played at the weekend there so far.
That's
I
why
think
the
it'll be
back
about
four,
5 or 6, yeah.
The back 4 or 5 hurts us. And that's nice and easy to go. Hey, give him game time, give him. Can I change
My
everything?
thing is, I would probably want the same starting 11 going up against Everton at the weekend. So you need to make changes for that midweek game.
He'll not play Trippier.
Do you reckon
3
Tonali,
games in a
Bruno, Joe Linton might be the...
I think
I'd like to think you would play those 3 together just to have them together because that's the first.
I think Tonali will get another run out.
Get Tonali some minutes.
Willock possibly in.
hopefully he came off. I know
Longstaff's
it's going to
got
cramp.
he's coming
Longstaff.
back in, isn't he?
Bruno was on the bench against Forest, wasn't he? He only came on because Willock got knackered early on. So.
They'll all be on the bench.
Oh yeah,
I actually think all of them will come on at some point because Howe mentioned this before. He likes them getting minutes into the legs. If that makes sense, I think they'll all come on at some point.
That's what makes us wonder about Gordon because he had obviously the very late start of pre-season. Didn't really feature at all for England in the Euros over the summer. So is he now considered fit because he had one good game against Man City, or do you want to give him another hour maybe?
I'd give him a rest,
I'd maybe bring him on,
particularly with that bit of cramp as well.
I'd like to see
Yeah,
Tonali.
His muscles a rest.
I think it'll be Longstaff, Tonali, and Willock in the midfield. Barnes, Young,
Miggy.
and Miggy.
Yeah, I think defensively, it might just be your fullbacks where you see the change.
So maybe Kelly and Tino keep sharing
Burn.
BDB. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Like,
You would think surely it's.
Or
not-
you could bring Kraft and maybe give Shearer a rest.
I mean, they knocked Ipswich out in the last round, didn't they? 2-2, they won on penalties, but
yeah.
you'd like to think that Newcastle, if they're serious about going for the cups, I mean,
Goodness me.
Chelsea in the next rounds are rough because they look phenomenal.
Just
at the
starting
minute
to find
going
it now,
forward.
aren't they?
Yeah.
You're going to find it eventually with that amount of players.
Yeah.
Surely eventually going to come good.
The-
To
the-
a degree, anyway.
They can be got out at the back, but they're scoring goals for them. 6
For
against
fun.
Wolves.
Palmer on fire.
Well, when you look
Yeah.
at Palmer and think that after he scores
Something
4
else.
at the weekend, he should have really scored probably 8.
Yeah, he missed
Yeah,
a few as well.
Did you ever understand
He
as well?
probably missed easier chances than some of the ones he scored.
Yeah.
And he set Jackson up for God knows how many he kept
Aye.
missing. They're a very difficult team, I think, to defend against. Like,
Yeah,
but-
I think that's a rough draw the next round.
Yeah,
I know,
this is at
ironically.
home. This is at home. We'll play them, don't we, as well, away, and then we'll play them at home the same week.
Is that right? We'll
I think
come back to back, have we?
Back to back, aye. Aye, so interesting.
Hmm.
But anyway, we'll have to deal with tomorrow, first of all.
Yeah.
Yes, let's not
We're
get
jumping
ahead,
ahead there.
give
Jumping
Wimbledon a bit
ahead.
of Nice that the club donated 15,000 to replace to help with the damage
Yeah.
that the,
Yeah, very.
the,
Yeah.
the flood and
And they'll
course.
get
I've never seen anything like that before.
45% gate receipts tomorrow, I believe, or something.
Yeah.
like that.
It was mad. It was like the dunes down.
Not like a golf course.
It was like,
Mental.
it was obviously still quite a new stadium, isn't it? The Cherry Red. It's only Plough Lane as it is. It's only 20 homes for 4-year-old.
Yeah.
So it's surprising to see that much damage was done to it. Like so now, I hope
I mean, the rain was so bad that the stand was gone. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? Was that covered by
they've
the
had,
rain?
they've had a crew they're due to play. I think last weekend at home they've had to postpone that. There's
Yeah.
another one. Is it Aldershot? They've
Yeah,
got
they
someone
couldn't-
coming up with
couldn't
another
get a
game.
ground
That,
That's some work, that, like.
oh yeah, it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
That could be a good few weeks before that's anywhere near.
Did it not happen with the Mackems where something went wrong and they had to like postpone all of their home games and they played like the first X amount of games away?
Did they? I don't know.
Luton did when they
Man,
came
Showers
up.
and Mackems, you know.
Liverpool did when the new stand at Anfield wasn't quite safe. a
Showers and
couple
Mackems
years ago.
only a few seasons back where like the first 10 games of the season like, they
Nah.
played away.
In the Premier League, was it?
Was that
No,
'cause
no,
there was
it
too
wasn't
much
the
rubbish
Premier
on the
League.
pitch?
No, it wasn't. It
So
wasn't
many
the
bags
Premier
of
League.
crisp packets.
I've never known a
No, it wasn't.
that.
Premier. I'm sure somebody will
But
tell us in the comments.
was it Luton's
Luton
first
was
3
last-
games or something like
Last
that?
year because
That's
it wasn't yet up to
ready for
scratch for the PL.
But like,
People's washing.
it amazed me how much sand was actually, how deep the sand was under the pitch.
Yeah,
That's what I said. It looked like golf
Like,
course. It looked like
yeah.
bunker.
Unbelievable. Like,
I've never.
I know,
Yeah,
and I know there's a layer of sand, but I thought, oh, maybe there's like a foot of sand or something like that. This was like
oh, sand.
it's not even. It's not ironic. It's
it
called
was
Plough Lane as
ridiculous,
well.
like
It's
meters and meters of sand.
It's
Yeah.
not that close to the Thames either, is it? That's what I found, man. It's a good Wimbledon. To my mind, I'm not an expert in London by any stretch. It's not. It's far enough away from the Thames that you think there should be. It would have done quite a bit of damage on the way
Yes,
through there,
yes,
unless it's just on the base or something like that. Like, and they've got a low water table or something. I was surprised to see how.
Well, I was never expecting to look like that from the
Nah,
damages.
No, I was
Nah.
expecting a couple of puddles.
Yeah, I was expecting, like puddles and turf being, soaked through or whatever. But to see that. It just didn't make sense to how it looked
Yeah.
that way. But
It was extraordinary, wasn't it?
Well, something like that was like
It's literally
a month's
the
worth of rain,
waters
wasn't it? In like
came
24
from
hours.
under the pitch.
That's what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
a high water table. That's maybe it's kind of kick
Yeah,
things
stuff
off there.
like-
Like,
So apparently, it was the Mackhams. It was after the Beyonce gig.
right?
So they put the Beyonce gig on, known for fine well the pitch wasn't going to be ready for the start of the season, but they were making too much money off the gig to do it, and they got authorization apparently.
Well, fair enough. Like, yeah.
I don't know if it was 10 games. Like, I might have just made
I mean,
that
that's-
stat up because
when
that's a lot of games.
When you get
Yeah.
to a
That's
certain
half
level,
of their home games.
you've got to make your money.
No,
how
they
it can,
obviously
so.
play the fixtures. Like they didn't play every fixture away from home, but the opening ones they did. They still played the same amount of games at home, just later in the season.
I don't think I knew
Maybe.
about that.
Maybe.
it rings a bell now you've said it, but I have to say I would never have gotten it.
Yeah.
No,
If that was in the quiz, I wouldn't have gotten that. Like.
Got any recollection of that whatsoever?
I like Beyonce as well.
Right. I'm going to end it, boys, because I really
Of course, not that bad, is it?
I really want to go home.
I'm going to the gym.
I really want to go home. Thanks everybody who has joined us tonight. We will be back next week after the Everton game. Obviously, we've got the cup game as well in between that, which we just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to say anything else. So yeah, see you next time. What should we do?
See you tomorrow.
Night.